Hi, it's Vinny. And, it's kind of been a while. I've been busy kind of just with personal things in my life. And last weekend was convention, PAX East I went to. Very exciting, but also very exhausting. So now that that's kind of over with, I can kind of get back to filming and stuff. So, um, today I just kind of want to talk about how trauma kind of affects my life and kind of affects sort of not only my kind of mental state, but also like my behaviors and my interactions with other people. Now, when I hear people who maybe have never experienced trauma talk about it, I often get this kind of perspective where someone thinks, well, such and such happened, and now it's been X amount of time since that's happened. So you should have now been able to move on. The pain should have dulled, and you should be able to move on. It shouldn't affect you. Now, obviously, I can't really speak for everyone, but that's really not usually how it goes. Usually, when you have had something traumatic happen to you, whether it be kind of physical, mental, or sexual abuse, it kind of manifests in ways, sometimes ways that don't even seem like all that obvious to you. And for me personally, I didn't notice these kinds of signs from myself until I was an adult. My own personal traumas have happened in my childhood, but while I was a child growing up, I didn't really have a lot of issues. I feel like I wasn't really able to process correctly what was happening. Therefore, it didn't exactly impact me like it does now. When I became around 18, 19 years old, it was then that the kind of after effects started to hit me. I started to become very leery, very suspicious, and feel very unsafe around certain people. And all of a sudden, I really got very uncomfortable with physical touching. Now, when I was a teenager, I used to love interacting by touching. I was a pretty, I wouldn't say exactly touchy feely kind of person, but I was very like, I'm gonna put my arm around you, I'm gonna flirt with you a little bit, I'm gonna just get really close, caress you, very contact oriented individual, and it was like my way of showing, I guess, affection to certain people. And then when I became an adult, it was like that immediately went away. I didn't want anyone at all to touch me. Even even people that I really care about, like family members or very close friends, if they were to hug me or ask me for a hug, it would be a very uncomfortable situation. I didn't like the feeling of having that kind of intimate contact with another body, and it just wasn't something that I felt that was comfortable. Now, this kind of situation really affected me um, in my own relationship, where, if you're trying to be intimate in a certain way with a particular person, and you don't like being touched, that can manifest in ways where, one person might feel like there's something wrong. One person might feel almost kind of sad that they're not able to have this kind of connection with you. And for me, it was just too much. Like I just couldn't bear the thought of having another person kind of overpower me with their physicality. And the thing is that another thing that my trauma has left behind is not just kind of like that impulsive physical like reaction. It's also done a numerous amount of damage to my mental thought process. Now, I don't usually really talk about the intricacies of what's going on in my head. I love keeping that private because a lot of that stuff that goes on It's just stuff that either I feel embarrassed about or stuff that I feel kind of frightens me personally. But basically, from what I've learned through in connection with my own trauma, is that a lot of that started to manifest in very negative, violent, sexual thoughts. And that was something that even sometimes now really can overwhelm me. And it's like it's like this thing that it's like I have zero control of. I don't ask for. I'm not even thinking about it, and all of a sudden, I can be having just a very casual, low-key, neutral conversation with another person, and all of a sudden it's violent thoughts, and that's something that just really, really is a struggle to go through because as I've learned through both experience and therapy, avoidance kind of makes the thoughts worse. If I'm having sort of a negative thought or a very just really intense, aggressive thought, kind of trying to suppress it only makes it worse. And I know it's really difficult to kind of tell yourself, okay, yeah, I have this thought. It's a thought. So what? Is kind of really hard because some of the thoughts that I have are very kind of horrendous, and they're not things that I agree with. They're not things that I stand for morally. They're not. They have nothing to do with my personality, and yet here they are, and I'm kind of being forced to kind of just acknowledge them while not kind of letting them get to me. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't think about when they think about kind of survivors of trauma is that it really plays. It's really multifaceted and it really plays into a lot of parts of my life, and it affects how I interact with people. It affects the way I think, and it sometimes affects my tolerance level for situations that kind of remind me or set me up where my power dynamic is kind of more subservient to someone else. Like, and those situations can really, really, really be kind of traumatic for me. Um, but yeah, so I just wanted to basically give a little bit of insight about myself and um, let you guys know that the best thing that's ever been for me is, again, I know like I say it a lot, but it's really been going to therapy and talking about these thoughts because it's like when you're in therapy, you can say literally whatever you want to say. It, this is not, you can't really tell, like, you can't really tell, your friends or, your mom that, oh, hey, I'm having thoughts about wanting to do such and such horrible thing to this person, or, oh, sometimes when I look at you, I think about blah, 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 blah. Like, that is not something you can say to someone. I mean, that's going to scare the hell out of them. And I mean, yeah, that's normal. I mean, it scares the hell out of me. But, like, in therapy, you kind of just get to explore. It's like, well, why does this happen? And kind of get that reassurance to know that this is kind of typical, that you're not a bad person, and, you're just your mind. Just sometimes you don't have control over what kind of thoughts you have. Like, something that I had to learn is that um, there are thoughts called invasive thoughts, which are it's basically as if your mind went and kind of started spewing a bunch of unfiltered obscenities without any kind of rhyme or reason. So it's basically, a thought that just comes, doesn't mean anything, just happens, and it happens to pretty much everyone. And, I just wanted to be there and say that, I really feel for you guys. Um, I want you to know that I'm here, and if you want to ever talk about, how it's like on a day-to-day basis, or how it is like living with having survived or having experienced trauma or any kind of traumatic events, then I'm here. I'm here for open discussion. I love that. But yeah, just want to say that regardless of whatever's happened to you, to know that it is an experience and that you can um, really learn a lot about yourself and about what you're capable of through these experiences. And for me personally, I just I try to see it as, you know, this happened, but look at me now. I'm still here. I'm still here. Maybe I'm not 100%, maybe I'm not even that like 80%, 70%, but I'm here still. And every day is another chance to get better, to get stronger, and to find new ways to kind of navigate your own mind. So, with that, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.